नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवतिरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। नमो पङ्कजनाभाय नमो पङ्कजमालिने नमो पङ्कजनेत्राय नमस्ते पङ्कजाङ्घ्रे। ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। योऽन्तः प्रविश्य मम वाचमिमां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत किल शक्तिधरा स्वधाम्ना अन्यांशहस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादीन् प्रणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय तुभ्यं। कथाञ्चना स्मृते यस्मिन् दुष्करं सुकरं भवेत् विस्मृते विपरीतं स्यात् श्रीचैतन्यनामामृतम्। Hare Krishna. Very happy to be with you today morning. I want to share with you briefly the extremely incredible benefits that you are going to get as you are now going to Naimisharanya. This is the most important thing you would have ever done in your life. And I'm assuming that you may not know exactly what you're entering into, right? So I'm going to share with you how going to Naimisharanya is the best thing you've ever done in your life. But before that, I'm recalling a verse right now, early morning, in Ayodhya, because this is a beautiful verse. Chanakya Pandit says this. प्रातः द्यूत प्रसंगानां मध्याह्न स्त्री प्रसंगात् रात्रो चोर प्रसंगानां कालो गच्छति धीमता। धीमता, intelligent people, how do they spend their time? Pratah dhyuta prasanganam, morning time they discuss about gambling. Madhyana stri prasangatat, afternoon they talk about women. Ratro chora prasanganam, in the night time they discuss about stealing. Kalo gacchati dhimata, intelligent people spend their time like this. Guessed? Did you guess what is this advice given by Chanakya? It's cryptic. Prato Dhyuta Prasanganam means morning time you discuss about gambling. Means you talk about Mahabharat. Because the whole episode happened because of a gambling match. Madhyana Stri Prasangata. Afternoon you talk about Sita, who was kidnapped. Glories of Mother Sita. And Ratro, in the night time you speak about a thief. Who is the greatest thief? Chor number one? Krishna. Kalo Gacchati Dhimata. So We are fortunate Srila Prabhupada has given us Ramayana, Bhagavatam about Krishna, Mahabharata. He wanted us to glorify the Lord morning, afternoon and night. So Naimisharanya is a very special place because it is here that Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken for the first time to a great assembly of thousands and thousands of sages. So when we go there, now ideally if you have a culture, I'll repeat the word culture, it's not simply an act of hearing a class once and you get your life sorted. No. The culture of hearing is what dramatically alters the spiritual landscape of our lives. The culture of hearing. However, that culture of hearing, for whatever reason, sometimes may get affected because of our busyness, because of the overwhelming nature of our responsibilities in our lives. We may not be able to have a culture of hearing, consistency may not be there. But when we go to places like Naimisharanya or Shuktal, where Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken, Hare Krishna. Am I audible there?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Mehtaji, yes. What was I saying? So sometimes the culture may get affected. So at such times, going to these places, it spiritually recharges us, and we align to the center of the culture of hearing. Now, having said that, we also need to clarify what exactly does Bhagavatam do. I mean, okay, I'm going to go there, Naimisharanya, I'm going to get blessed. I'm going to have a culture of hearing. If I go to Naimisharanya, I'll get blessed to hear Bhagavatam and study Bhagavatam every day. Fine. But what will Bhagavatam do for me? What's in it for me? What will happen if I go back to London and start reading Bhagavatam every day? That's what I'm going to discuss now. I want to ask some of you here, like if you would like to answer, what do you think you will get if you read or hear Bhagavatam? Like I hear Bhagavatam classes online of course my spiritual master, but also other than that, Srila Prabhupada's classes I hear, and then other than these two, I hear Gauranga Darshan Prabhu's classes almost regularly. I just feel so nourished. Gauranga Darshan Prabhu, Amarendra Prabhu, and they are very kind to me. They are also good friends of mine. So both of them, and then there are many others, Nitai Sevini Mataji. There are many devotees who give beautiful Bhagavatam classes. Because I'm not so much, when I read I fall asleep, but when I hear I get nourished. And but you need to have a consistent practice, and I've seen some amazing benefits happen to me. So I want to ask you first, what do you think is the most important thing you will get if you read Bhagavatam? Before I come to you, Mataji, Karthika Mataji, I want to ask others, because I know you will know the right answer. Anybody else? Yes.
Because I'm new to this path, I've just listened to a few of the Srimad Bhagavatam, just the Prahlad Maharaj. So what it does is, it brings me back to understanding what my true self is. Until now, I was thinking whenever I go to a dham, I just pray to God for good health, wealth, money. But what I learned is, you pray to Lord that please free me from all the material desires. And this was like a game-changing thing. It's like I was just living in blind all this while, not even knowing that, what I should do and what not. But when I read, it puts your life into perspective. And just one lesson changed so much of things. So I don't know what's going to happen when I go.
It makes you a spiritual seeker. Bhagavatam makes you a spiritual seeker. It makes you ask the right kind of questions. Generally, we ask questions about, Prabhupada says in one class, we generally ask questions about Aata dal ka bhav kya hai? He actually says it in Hindi, which means what is the price of food, what is the price of grains. But Bhagavatam makes us ask, who am I? What's the goal of life? See, Srila Prabhupada's books and Bhagavatam has all the answers. But unfortunately, we don't ask questions. So, Srimad Bhagavatam gives us, it took me some years to realize, I'm being very honest with all of you, it took me some years of practice in the Brahmachari ashram to realize that Srimad Bhagavatam is giving me all the answers to the questions I never asked. And that was a game changer for me as well. When I realized that, this is the question I need to ask. Who am I? What's the goal of life? And Bhagavatam not only makes you ask the questions, then it provides you the answers. Thank you. That's a beautiful answer. Anybody else would like to answer? What do you think you will get from Srimad Bhagavatam? Actually, we could give a whole 1 hour discussion only on this topic. This is like my favorite because this is the goal of the Vedas, the Upanishads. Yes, Parva. Yes. Knowledge, yes. Srimad Bhagavatam gives us knowledge, and knowledge is the foundation of spiritual life. I'll give a simple example. There are two patients lying on a bed, bed A and bed B. Okay, both are screaming in pain. And when you see from outside, you think, oh, both of them are equally miserable. But I'll tell you the backstory now. Patient A is screaming in pain, but his disease has been diagnosed and the treatment has started, and he knows when he's going to get discharged and what's going to happen. Patient B is also screaming exactly like patient A, but everybody is clueless. There's all experiments going on about his treatment. Now I'll ask you, who is better off, patient A or patient B? A. But externally when you see, both of them are equally miserable, right? So you may say, I'm studying Bhagavatam, I'm practicing Bhakti, I'm miserable. Well, my neighbor has nothing to do with spiritual life, he is also miserable. So how are we different? Well, as you rightly said, you have knowledge. You know what is a disease, you know you can get cured of this disease, you can get out of the hospital soon. Knowledge is empowering. So knowledge and asking the right questions, these are some of the benefits you get of reading Srimad Bhagavatam. And even if you can't read Bhagavatam, when you go to a place like Naimisharanya, in the right mood, all these benefits come in lump sum. And then you can go back to London and start your Bhagavatam career. Anything else? Anybody would like to say? What do you think you could get?
Well, for me, it strengthens my faith because being a scientist, I need answers to all the questions. And when I read Srimad Bhagavatam, I'm like, wow, this has been written such a long time back. We are discovering it now.
Yes.
But yeah,
as in, for a scientist, this is like a treasure house. I mean, simple things like how could 5,000 years ago, in the third canto of Bhagavatam, describe what happens in the womb? I mean, modern sonography, what it explains about the position of the child in the womb, how could these sages explain with no devices? Or how could Bhagavatam describe earth as bhu gol? Gol means round. I mean, when I think 500 years ago, when Columbus set out to discover India and he landed up in America, many people didn't join him because they thought earth was flat and they thought they were going to fall off. So, till 500 years ago, people thought earth was flat, and Bhagavatam speaks about earth being spherical 5,000 years ago. And there are many things like that. Saptadvip, 7 continents, the Bhagavatam has. And of course, the predictions and all those things. So, for a scientist, it's faith giving. Thank you. Anything else Bhagavatam gives you? Yes.
Purifies me.
Purification. Purification means cleansing. And you know, cleansing is something which you feel it. You know that I'm getting purified of my lower nature. It's an experience. It's not the head it's not a head knowledge, it's a heart knowledge. You know that, yes. Sometimes I don't understand the Bhagavatam. Like I go for the Bhagavatam class in the morning and the speaker is, I'm going through some issues. My brother has called me, there's something happening at home front. I need to take care of that, and I'm sitting in the class and the speaker, and I'm hoping that the class would give me something practical. But the speaker speaks on the 5th canto of Bhagavatam, which is all about the planetary systems. But I faithfully hear that sound vibration purifies the heart. And I can see my soul getting bathed in Krishna's sound vibration. So purification is 100% guaranteed by the culture of Srimad Bhagavatam hearing. Yes, just I'll come back to you.
I found that if we approach Bhagavatam with sincerity and it becomes alive to us, so that when we have questions, that it's not just the fact that we're reading things that everybody's hearing and reading, but it actually answers our own questions, our personal questions.
Yes. Srimad Bhagavatam answers our personal questions also. Somebody asked me once, will Srimad Bhagavatam answer all questions? I said yes. So he said, well, will Srimad Bhagavatam answer the questions of, I've lost my job, how can I get a job? It's a personal question. Can Bhagavatam answer that? Jagannath Sharan Prabhu has just now explained that. Bhagavatam answers your personal questions. I'll tell you how. Please listen to this carefully. This is very nuanced. how Bhagavatam will answer if your relationship is a challenge. Bhagavatam will answer you how your relationship can be mended. But how does it work? It works a little differently. My cousin, he joined the Indian Military Academy, and he's of course now he's highly positioned in the Indian Navy. So when he was in the academy, he said that they studied for 3 years all the different wars and battles in history. They had a course, Battle of Waterloo, Second World War, everything in great detail. And then he was telling me something very interesting. He said in 2008, for those of you know, 26th November, the terrorists attacked Mumbai. It was crazy what happened. So he said the National Security Guard commandos entered, they're all part of the course. They have studied this course. He said when we entered that premises to neutralize the terrorists, we didn't open our textbooks and see which battle strategy we have to apply now. We didn't copy paste. The collective study for 3 years had reshaped our intuition and conscience. We knew exactly how to come up with an improvised solution in that situation, which would now be part of future textbooks. Similarly, when we have a culture of hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, our intuition gets shaped, our connection with Paramatma, Krishna, gets fine-tuned, and we are able to hear, and that's where I want to discuss today. That's the point I want to discuss today after Mataji gives her answer. That there is something that happens inside which I'm going to share with you, exactly what happens. And because of that, you get answers to all your questions. So there is some change that happens in the, whether you call it hormones, I don't know what you call it, but something happens inside, which is what helps us get answers to our personal questions. Because that renounced order is also a challenge, just like Grihastha life is also a challenge, right? So we also have challenge because you have what? You are living with 4 or 5 people in a family, we are living with 75 people. It's not as easy because material world is tough. And we go through a lot of pain and suffering. No one is spared. Shruti Dharma Prabhu would always say, no one is spared. And you may think, oh, but you are in the renounced order, you have no responsibilities, you must be happy. Well, there are many skeletons in the cupboard, many closely guarded secrets even in the renounced order. It's not easy. But we get answers to our questions by Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you, Jagannath Prabhu, and we'll take your answer also. You want to say something?
I would say that get more clarity in your life and
Yes.
detachment while you are attached, living in the context.
Yes.
The detachment point is more important for me. And while performing your duties is 100%.
Beautiful. Clarity and detachment. Clarity means awareness. Self-awareness, it's a very important topic. We generally don't talk much about it. It's called Sakshi Bhav. It's the ability to separate ourselves from our mind-ego intelligence, which is the foundation of Vedic Sanatana Dharma. Most religions don't talk about it. So self-awareness improves by the culture of Srimad Bhagavatam study and detachment. You become like a boat which remains on water, but the water doesn't enter the boat. Right now, we allow the world to influence us. Or sometimes we want to be detached, but in the name of detachment, we become irresponsible. We say, I have nothing to do with this. So we think we are detached, but we become irresponsible. And sometimes we take responsibility, but we get sucked in and we get attached. Responsibility leads to attachment, and detachment leads to irresponsibility. So how to be responsibly detached? That's Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you for these beautiful answers. I want to also share some thoughts on how Bhagavatam actually gives you all these benefits. All of what you said is right, but exactly how it happens is there is some inner change that happens. Srimad Bhagavatam helps you converse with Krishna very effectively. And unless you have a conversation with the Lord, unless you can chat with God, you cannot get answers. Bhagavatam, if you study carefully, you will realize Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us 2 things. Consistently, when I've been reading, now this is my verses book from the Bhagavatam, my favorite verses. And one day, as my usual, I was studying and I suddenly realized something, and then I saw consistent pattern. Bhagavatam is always teaching two things: how to choose our thoughts, and second, how to receive Krishna's presence. I'll repeat. Bhagavatam will consistently teach you how to choose your thoughts, and secondly, what is the second thing? How to receive Krishna's presence. Now, what do these two things mean? Before I explain that, how can we have a good relationship with each other in this external world? What are the two things we need to do? Now, if I need to have effective communication with you, let's say I want good communication with you, there are two things we need to do in a communication. What is it?
Relationship.
Communication. I'm not talking about relationship. Basic communication,
Listening.
and speaking clearly. Your ability to express clearly makes one part of the communication good. You are able to express what you need very clearly. And second, you also need to listen. You can't just be talking all the time and saying, oh, I have very good communication with them. Well, what did you hear? No, I just kept speaking for 1 hour. We have a very good relationship. No, you need to speak and you also need to listen. Now, this is what happens in this world. Now, let's go inside. What happens in our inner world? How do we converse or how do we communicate with Krishna? There are two things. Just like in this world you speak, in the inner world we choose thoughts. Whenever you choose a thought, you are speaking with Krishna. Like for example, right now I say, I'm very grateful to Mayank Prabhu for getting me for this yatra. So these are the words I have spoken. But when I say in my mind, like in my altar, like I have a small altar in my room now. So before coming, I offer obeisances and I come. So if I say, now nobody is hearing me, I am alone with the Lord. And generally when we pray to the Lord, we don't speak. Imagine you stand in front of Radha Gokulananda, 50 of you, and you're all standing and everybody is talking. So we all speak to the Lord in the mind. Means basically we choose our thoughts. So when before coming, if I choose a thought, Krishna, thank you for letting me come to Ayodhya. I haven't spoken these words, but I have spoken them consciously, investing energy into those thoughts. That is choosing thoughts. Is this clear? And we all do this all the time. In fact, we don't choose thoughts, thoughts choose us. We are helpless. But Bhagavatam empowers you. Bhagavatam makes you take charge of the reins of your life. It helps you to choose thoughts. It trains you how to choose thoughts consistently from the first canto to the 12th canto. Isn't it empowering? So I tell you, Mayank, I love you. But when I say that in my thoughts, Krishna, I love you. I could say that anytime, anywhere. Like our Devamrit Maharaj used to tell me once, when we were in the Brahmachari class, one Brahmachari asked, Maharaj, how do we overcome lust? So Maharaj said, and he said, no, but I'm traveling, I'm in the book distribution, I'm in the car, I'm in the train, and I'm affected by these desires. So then Maharaj said, just scream out loudly, your lungs should tear apart and you should say Nityananda. But he said, Maharaj, how can I do that? Because I'm in the train. I can't scream Nityananda. Maharaj said, no, scream so loud that your lungs tear apart, but your lips should not move. Unspoken. That means in the thoughts. So, choosing thoughts is the first way of communication with Krishna. Just like in this world, the first part of communication is speaking. But there's another part of communication in this world, we listen. Similarly, in our inner relationship with Krishna, listening is compared with, how do we listen to Krishna?
Hearing Katha.
I just mentioned two principles that Bhagavatam teaches us. First,
Thoughts on how to receive Krishna.
receiving Krishna's presence. When we are mindful, when we are present, you are receiving Krishna's presence. Not thinking. Just like when you're talking, after talking you also Similarly, in the inner world, we choose a thought, and sometimes we also just, like at Kanak Bhavan yesterday, I just sat behind after the prayers, taking it in, basking in the presence of that, the energy, the aura there. Mindfulness is a big topic in the outside corporate world. So many people invite us. Can you do as a mindfulness seminar? Well, Bhagavatam teaches us how to receive Krishna's presence. There are so many verses which tell us how to meditate and focus on Krishna's bodily features. Receive. So in this world, we speak and we listen. In our relationship with Krishna, what do? Two things. What are the two things we do in our relationship with Krishna? First, we choose our thoughts, and second, receive Krishna's presence, which means being mindful. Like for example, if you are in the temple hall taking darshan, you don't have to do, you don't have to be always doing things. You can just be there in the kirtan. Even if the mind wanders, it's okay. Gently come back. Receive. Take it in with your senses, with your ears, eyes. Take the presence of the Lord. And you will see, when you are present, it enters somewhere in your memory and you remember it even years later. Some things you remember as a child, you may be 60 now, but you remember some of the events that happened when you were 5 or 6 because you were present, you were mindful, you received. I go to different houses when I'm traveling, like I go to US every year and I travel like crazy, 2 months. So I went to one house this year. This Mataji was serving prasadam. I said, Mataji, remember last year I came and we did a video call with your mom who is in Vrindavan? She was shocked that I remember. Prabhu, you remember that? You go to so many houses. I said, yeah, Mataji, also remember you fed me pinwheel pizza. Yeah. I said, yeah, and remember we spoke about that McDonald's restaurant where you accidentally took your mom. And, oh my God, you remember that? She started crying. Oh, you're a pure devotee. I said, yeah, Mataji, but I don't remember your name. Because name is said and you forget it. But experiences, when you're present. And generally I remember surnames. Like Rocky, I couldn't remember. Mehta, I remembered. I remember surnames. Everybody has their own. Because surname, when I hear the surname, I remember someone else with that same surname. Or it takes me to caste and all those kind of, the kind of Vedic paradigm, Vedic systems and all that. So, and experiences, when I'm mindful, when I'm present, it just somewhere it enters me and it stays. And then it takes some time for the file to open when I meet you again. Anyway, so I don't want to talk about myself, but the point I'm saying is Bhagavatam teaches us just be present. Like I'll give one example. Okay, there are so many verses. We don't have so much time. Okay, but I'll just speak on these two principles now. First is, what is the first principle of relationship with Krishna? Choosing thoughts. Second, receiving the presence of Krishna. Presence of Krishna means being mindful. Like when you're taking Charanamrut, for example, when you go to a temple, just be present. Let the taste enter you. Be present. Like taking prasadam, listening to a class. It's okay. Sometimes I want to figure out everything. When the class I'm hearing, I make notes and I'm like trying to understand what the speaker is saying. Get it? In Bhakti, we don't achieve Krishna. We receive Krishna. It's fundamentally, it's a different paradigm. So just be present. And suddenly everything falls in place. Those who are neuroscientists, they'll explain better. When we are alert, awake and active, the alpha waves, hyperactive, 15 to 40 hertz. It's needed, but then it also causes stress. There is something called as relaxed attention, which is beta waves, a lower frequency, 7 to 15 hertz. It's a contradictory term. It's a paradox. Relaxed attention. We think either you're relaxed or you're attentive. That's our unfortunate conditioning. But there is something called as relaxed attention, where you let your guard down. You're just present. And understanding you don't achieve, understanding comes. Like I lost my umbrella and I was searching for it. I gave up. And then I relaxed after 2 days. I was just relaxing. My mind was wandering. Suddenly I remembered, I'd kept it behind the refrigerator. So I didn't try to figure out, it came to me. So when I said receiving Krishna's presence, what I meant was just be present, chill, relax. Remember, you are a human being. You are not a human doing. Be. We are do-centered. So Bhagavatam will teach you these two things. And even if it takes time for this to settle in, when you go to Naimisharanya, you get blessings of 60,000 sages, you get blessings of Sutta Goswami, and everything gets sorted. And you get surcharged. I still remember the first time I visited Naimisharanya, the second time, the third time, 3 times I've been there. So I felt a surcharge in that study of Bhagavatam. So now you will say, okay, choosing thoughts, how does it? Now I'll give one example. How Bhagavatam helps us choose thoughts. This 10th canto, Nalakuver and Manigriv, they have been trapped in the tree body. They are liberated. Now they are offering prayers. So Nalakuver and Manigriv, one of the prayers they offer. This is a way I'm giving an example of how to choose thoughts. So they are telling the Lord, Vani gunanu katane shavano kathaya hastau cha karmasu manastava padayorna smrityam shirastava nivasa jagat praname drishti satam darshanestu bhavattanunam. Now the literal translation of this verse is Krishna Vani gunanu katane shravano kathayam. Let us always glorify you. Let us always hear about you. Let our hands be engaged in serving your lotus feet. Manas tava padayorna. Let my mind be always fixed on your lotus feet. Drishti satam. Let me always look at devotees. Let me always get association of devotees. This is a normal prayer. When we read this, initially, I used to just skip these prayers. I wanted pastimes. But this is a game changer. If I convert this prayer into first person, generally we say, Nalkuver is saying this. No, Nalkuver has offered this prayer. Now I come in front of the Lord and in my thoughts, I offer these prayers. Krishna, I want to serve you. Krishna, I want to offer. So this is the way Bhagavatam fills us with so many examples of prayers. We can choose these thoughts. This is just one prayer I'm saying. Sound is at 3 levels. Actually 4, but for our practical understanding, sound can be at 3 levels. First is speech. I want to go to temple. I want to go to temple. I have spoken 6 words. This is called Vaikari in Vedic language. I want to go to temple. I have spoken it. It's sound, manifested sound. But let's say I'm taking a shower and I say it in my mind, I want to go to temple. I haven't spoken it. That's called Madhyama. Means it's thought form. Now there is something subtler here. I didn't say I want to go to temple. I don't even choose a thought. I want to go to temple. But the third thing is a feeling of shelter. As soon as I think of temple, there is a sense of shelter, sense of love, sense of belongingness, sense of safety that I experience in that energy of temple, and that translates as a thought, I want to go to temple. And that thought comes out as words. You tell your spouse, I am going to temple. But where did it begin? A feeling. Feeling is like a wave in the consciousness. It just, you can't catch, there's no words there. Sometimes you say some things are ineffable, you cannot explain it in words. And you are also not able to explain your thoughts. It's a feeling, it's a wave. That feeling translates as thoughts. The thoughts come out as words. Is this clear? So there are words, there are thoughts, and there are feelings. Now words can be recorded. You are recording on the phone what I'm speaking. Words can be recorded. Can thoughts be recorded? No, it can be. You can take a paper and pen and write down all your thoughts. I do a journaling workshop, 3-hour workshop. It's all about recording your thoughts. So you can catch your thoughts, you can catch your words. But feelings, also you can, if you practice awareness, you can know what you're feeling. Slowly, it slows down. If you slow down your mind, you can know what you're feeling. So thoughts, feelings, and words. Now which comes first, thoughts or feelings? Feelings. Thoughts. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? So sometimes thoughts create feelings, sometimes feelings create thoughts. We have no control over feelings. They just come like a tsunami in the consciousness. But we can control thoughts. We can control our words. So Bhagavatam study is to help us choose our thoughts. And regarding receiving Krishna's presence, being mindful, for that also we have many verses in the Bhagavatam. Sa chintayet bhagavatis charanarvindam vajrankushatvaja saroru alanchanatya uttunga rakta vilasam nakachakravala josna virahadamahad hridayandakaram. Sa chintayet, just be present and allow what? Sa chintayet bhagavatis charanarvindam. Let Krishna's lotus feet enter your consciousness. Vajrankushat vajasaroru alanchanatya. Now when you meditate on Krishna's lotus feet and you're present, you allow your consciousness to enter and remember that there are 4 signs on Krishna's lotus feet. Sign of a thunderbolt, elephant gourd, a lotus flower, and a lotus flower, conch. Uttunga rakta vilasam nakachakravala. Then meditate on the pinkish hue on the lotus feet of Krishna. And then the nails. Nakachakravala, the nails. And then what will happen? The toenails. Josna pirahadamahad hridayandakaram. There is darkness in the heart. The darkness will be dissipated by the light emanating from the toenails. Now these are very abstract. No, you can't. This has to be received. This is felt. You have to be present and allow, like the Bhagavatam 3rd canto describes, meditate on Krishna's smile. Hasam hare ravanata kilaloka tivra shokashru sagara vishoshanamatyudaram sammohanaya rachitam nijamaya yasya Mandala Munikrite Makara Dvajasya. Meditate on Krishna's smile. So you take darshan of the Lord, like yesterday we took darshan of Ram Lalla, today morning some of you. So your eyes were open, wide open. You take it in, and then when you close your eyes, there are inner eyes where you can see the form of the Lord. The Bhagavatam teaches us that. See, there are inner senses. Ear also, you hear something attentively, and then when you close your eyes, close your ears, in the sense you are just relaxed, you are present, you can hear even if that sound is not spoken. Like gopis in Vrindavan, they are hearing Krishna playing flute, although Krishna was not playing flute at that time. Because they were present, they were mindful, and it was Krishna's flute. You know, once I was going for a program in the auto rickshaw in Mumbai, and there was another rickshaw there, and that fellow had blasted from old Bollywood music. Which had been ages since I heard all of that. And that was one of my favorite songs when I was in college. And I said, no, I don't want to hear this, just Krishna. But then it was so good, I said, okay, let me go. And then I think after a minute, the signal turned green. And then I forgot about it, I continued my other things. Then I went for the program, I sat on the Vyasasana and we start Radha Madhav Kirtan class. I picked up the kartals, closed my eyes and I had to start. Jai Radha Madhava, you know. And I closed my eyes and suddenly that song, I didn't say it. Dil tadap tadap ke keh raha hai, na na na. I'm like, when will this stop? So that I can sing Radha Madhav. So the inner ears play, inner eyes can take it. So if you are present with Krishna, then this will fill our consciousness. So that's what Bhagavatam teaches us. So smile, meditate on Krishna's smile. Hasam Hare Ravanata Kilalokat. And then the next line says, we all have enough tears that can drown up, that can fill an ocean. Each human being has so many reasons to cry that we can fill up an ocean. Shoka Shrusagara Vishoshanamatyudaram. Vishoshanam. That ocean will dry up the moment we meditate on Krishna's smile. And then what you should do? Sammohanaya rachitam nijamaya yasya brumandala. Meditate on Krishna's eyebrows. Makara dvajasya. When you meditate on Krishna's eyebrows, Cupid's arrows will have no effect. Because Cupid, he goes to shoot Krishna with his arrows, but when he sees Krishna's eyebrows and smile, he gets shot. That's why Krishna is called Madan Mohan, one who captivates Cupid. And the next verse says, okay, now take your meditation to the next level. Dhyanayanam prahasitam bahuladaroštha basa runaitatanu dvijakunda pankti dhyaye swadeha kuhare vasitasya vishnor bhaktyadrayarpitamanana pratakti drikshe. Now take your meditation to the level where you meditate on Krishna's teeth. When Krishna smiles, sometimes he laughs. You can see Krishna's teeth in your meditation. There is a very special deity in India, and if you see the photograph of the deity, sometimes you see a mystical teeth. Do you know which deity I am talking about? Radharaman. Radharaman deity in Vrindavan, you will see most of the photographs are okay, but suddenly some photographs you will see teeth. This is like mystical. So meditating on Krishna's teeth, for the Bhagavatam says, there will be no more illusion controlling you. You will have tremendous awareness, clarity, control over your inner world. So these are the verses that explain and that teach us how to receive Krishna's presence, the second part of communication. And the first part, choosing thoughts, is all the prayers, how to choose thoughts. And then what happens by this is, there's a very beautiful verdict given by Kapila Dev. I'll see. Okay, can you repeat this verse? You have to be a little attentive. Madashraya katamrishtha Shrinvanti katayanti cha Madashraya katamrishtha Shrinvanti katayanti cha Tappanti vividhastapa Naitan madgata chetasa. This is a very important verse. This teaches us both how to choose thoughts and how to receive Krishna's presence. First, Madashraya, taking shelter of me, my dear devotee. What does it mean? Krishna is saying, Kapila Devi is saying, Katha Mrishta, enjoy the stories, enjoy the classes. Whenever Bhagavatam classes are going on, just enjoy them. In the sense, be present. And do two things. Shrinvanti katayanti cha. Hear about the class, the Bhagavatam, and speak about it. Share with others. And what will happen if you do this? Tappanti. We are all getting burnt. Tapan. Taap mein jal rahe hain. We are all getting, the heat of material existence is burning us. Vividas tapa. There is a variety. Just like we have in our prasadam here, a huge variety. Huge menu. So many sweets. I was like, wow. Similarly, misery is also variety. Tapanti vividas tapa. But interestingly, naitan, they will not affect you. If madgata chetasa, if you receive Krishna's presence, pain will be there, but you won't allow the pain to become suffering. See, pain is inevitable, but suffering is how you interpret or purports you give to those pain. Somebody insults you in a crowd. That's painful. But suffering is when I start telling stories. Oh, why am I always done? Why is he always so harsh with me? All these thoughts, that's the second arrow. The first arrow is what hits you, but the second arrow that follows it is more piercing. So we are living in the world of thoughts all the time. So we need to choose thoughts. So Naitan, Madgata Chetasa, Kapila Devi is saying, choose your thoughts, change them, and take charge. So a simple example, when we come for Kirtan, all of you have heard Hare Krishna Kirtans? So at the first level, the Kirtan is very melodious. When I was new, I used to love the melody. And the singers would change melodies very fast, every 3 minutes, and I would feel, wow, it's beautiful. But I was at the Vaikari level. Remember, Vaikari is sound, speech. But Bhagavatam teaches us go to the thought, Madhyama level. Means when the Hare Krishna chanting is going on, we are supposed to say internally, Krishna, please help me, let me engage in your service, let me serve you. These are the thoughts we need to choose. But I was not choosing thoughts, I was stuck at the Vaikari level. So I remember the first Kirtan I attended in ISKCON, I said Kirtan is the best thing, but not because I was in the thought space, I was in the melody space. Superficial. So many of our experiences in Bhakti is very superficial. It's at the sensual level. It's okay, the senses are getting purified, but we need to invest and choose thoughts eventually. I remember the first Kirtan I attended, the singer was singing. I forget that melody now. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And I was also dancing. But I was remembering a Bollywood song of the same melody. Hai apna dil to aava na jaane kis. And after that, oh, what beautiful kirtan! I was not in the kirtan. So many of us, we may be with Krishna, but our thoughts may be somewhere else. So Bhagavatam is telling us, choose your thoughts, take charge of your thoughts, and then so then slowly we rise. And then remember I said thoughts then leads to feelings. And once feelings are also in place, then there is a fourth level of sound which we haven't spoken today, which we won't discuss. That's called Paravak, which is the voice in which Krishna speaks to us. I cannot explain what it is, because if I can explain it, that means my intelligence and words are powerful enough to grasp Krishna's voice. That means Krishna's voice is subordinate to my material intelligence and words. It has to be by definition incomprehensible and ineffable. That is Paravak. Krishna speaks to you, Krishna speaks to us, and there is a voice, and that voice is called Paravak. Don't tell me, how is that? How can I hear that voice? You will know it when you know it. You will know it. But let us take charge of the three levels of sound in this world: Vaikari, Madhyama, and Pashyanti. Speech, thoughts, and feelings. And if you want more details, read first canto Bhagavatam, 9th chapter. So many verses. Bhishma is talking about how to receive Krishna's presence. He's talking about Krishna's beauty, and he's talking about Krishna driving the chariot, and the dust raised by the hooves of the horses is filling his face, and there is dust on his face. And there are so many verses in the Bhagavatam which talks about dust particles on Krishna's cheeks and how they are making Krishna more beautiful. Just meditating on these verses. I've got all these verses on my book, So just meditating on these beautiful descriptions. Generally in this world, if you go to play and your face is filled with dust, then the first thing you do when you come back, you wash your face, because dust doesn't add to your beauty. But Krishna is so beautiful that when he is filled with the dust of Vrindavan on his face, and there are verses which describe the dust particles on his face. So these are all there in the Bhagavatam. I'll just chant one verse. Yudituraga rajo vidhumra vishwak Kachalulita Shramavāri Alankritasye Mama Nishita Share Vibhidyamana Tvachi Vilasad Kavachestu Krishna Atma. Bhishma is saying, I shot arrows at Krishna that pierced Krishna's body and blood was coming out. Oh, that sight was so beautiful. Now you would say this is not a beautiful sight in this world, but his ecstasy, Bhishma, and Prabhupada writes there, Bhishma shooting arrows at Krishna is like a lover throwing a rose flowers at his beloved. It's not like this world, it's not ghastly, it's beautiful. So like that there are many verses. The gopis, they are in Vrindavan, Krishna has come back after herding the cows. Dina parikshaye nila kunthale vanaruhananam bibradavritam Ghanarajasvalam darshayan mohur manasina smaran virayachasi. The Gopi Geet contains in detail how Krishna is coming back from Vrindavan and his hair, his curly hair is blocking his face. The gopis want to look at him, and then a gust of wind makes his hair go on the side, and then the gopis look at his face. Ghanarajasvalam, there is dust on his face. Darshayan mohur, they get so attracted to Krishna. Manasina smaran virayachasi. The Cupid's arrows hit their heart as soon as they see Krishna's face. So like this, there are so many verses. We are in Ayodhya. Even Lord Ram, his beauty is described. I remember that verse. Yes. Aganita guna gana bhushita Rama avanitanaya kamita Rama Rakachandra samanana Rama Pitrvakya shrita kanana Rama 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 Jaya Raja Ram Rama Rama Jaya Sita Ram. So there's a detailed description about Lord Ram's beauty, and one of them is in the war battlefield with Ravana. The dust from the battlefield is filling up his face and his beauty is enhanced. So I'm just giving you one example of a dust particle. So there are so many meditations we can have from the Bhagavatam on Krishna. So I'll pause here. We have time for a few questions?
Yes, we have.
Okay. So I want to pause here. I want to summarize before you ask me any questions. So in this world, communication happens with two principles. What are the two principles of communication in this world? We speak and we listen. In our relationship with Krishna, with the Lord Ram, communication happens at two levels. What is one? Choosing our thoughts. And what is second? Receiving the Lord's presence. Receiving the Lord's presence means?
Being mindful.
Mindful, being present. If we have these two practices, trust me, however miserable, terrible world is, just like just like when you're in love, you feel life is worth it. There are people who don't want, if you give them a choice of happiness and a relationship, those are not in relationship, they prefer relationship. They say, I'm happy, but I want a relationship. Because there is something special that happens in a relationship with the Lord. Because we are choosing our thoughts and we are receiving Krishna's presence, we will feel loved. And love is a greater experience than happiness of this world. So let us enter Naimisharanya. Let us travel to Naimisharanya from Ayodhya in this mood, that we want to receive the Lord's presence and we want to choose our thoughts and take charge of our spiritual life. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Any comments, corrections, questions here?
Simple question. Naimisharanya has 88,000 sages.
Yeah,
They don't need
all this.
to hear.
Yeah.
So, but they are focused. And we, small group, still we need, micro these stuff. We're going to hear and concentrate. What's the comparison? How do you see this?
No, this is to do with time. I grew up in a small village in South India. 1978, 79, I remember somebody so far away, they would call out a name, I could hear it because the ether had less sound. could hear. So now,
Yes, all
there's
this
everywhere sound.
pollution.
Noise
Yes,
pollution.
noise pollution.
The sound everywhere. So, and because of this, we are not able to hear the voice within also, because there's so much of sound outside.
Yes.
So we get disconnected. So we can't really compare what happened 5,000 years ago with now. I also had this question: how could they hear the class without a microphone
Prabhuji,
speaker?
their voice could be louder as well.
Voice also could be louder. Like when Maricha, when he screamed out, Sita, Lakshman, when Lord Ram, in Aranyakand we find this beautiful description. Lord Ram chases Maricha for 1 hour, almost. They are running, and then Maricha assumes his real form. When Lord Ram realizes that he's not a golden deer, he's a Rakshasa, and he shoots that arrow, and as the arrow comes towards Maricha, he assumes his gigantic form and he screams out, "Oh Lakshmana, Sita," in Ram's voice. So he's 1 hour, and they're running fast, and you can imagine he's 1 hour gone away, and when he shouts, Mother Sita could hear, Lakshman could hear. So the ether, the space carried different vibrations, different energies could be heard. And also there are subtle nuance, like I've seen sometime when I was walking, and suddenly I turned back because I felt Gauranga Prabhu was there. And when I looked back, and Gauranga Prabhu was just turning, and he said, Braj Bihari. He hadn't called out my name yet, but there are sometimes when you are present, you have a culture of mindfulness, you hear what is not spoken.
It happens also in Germany. I call my mother and she's like, I was just about to give you a call.
Yes, it happens.
Prabhuji, why?
Can I take her question first? Yes.
I'm so sorry.
She did raising her hand for some time.
The Paravak voice you said, we have not exploring because you said it's Krishna.
Krishna's voice. Krishna speaks to you in Paravak.
Paravak. Prabhuji, is that sometimes we get is that Paramatma's voice when he guides Lord?
Yes. That's the voice, we know it. Sometimes you shouldn't be doing this, you should be doing this. You know it. It's beyond the sense of knowing the way we understand in this world. That's Paravak.
And just small thing, Prabhuji. You had said, first you said Vaikari, Madhyama, and third was
Pashyanti.
Pashyan. Thank you. That's it. Thank
Yes,
you.
Mataji.
Like Prabhuji, Kurukshetra was chosen for the war. Is there a reason why Naimisharanya was chosen?
Yeah, Naimisha Kshetra, the first canto explains it's the center of the universe. Not from our way we calculate. There is a different system given, the second chapter of the first canto. Yeah, so that's why Naimisharanya was chosen. Srila Prabhupada was giving a class once in, I think Mayapur, he's saying, it's the center of the universe. It's like for him, a small village, externally it's a small village in Bengal, but he could perceive it as the center of the universe. And same Srila Prabhupada was once giving a class in Los Angeles, and he says, so, today we have come to this remote corner of the world. We are in a remote corner. For him, Los Angeles was an insignificant corner somewhere. So the pure devotee's perspective is little.
Because in Puri also, we heard that Brahmaji came there to do the tapasya, center of the universe. So could be
That can be many
calculation from
centers of
different
the.
angles.
That thing is a different paradigm. We can have two simultaneously existing realities. Yeah. Anybody else has any comments or questions or corrections?
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
You just say we are going to Naimisharanya. I just thought that what is the meaning of Naimisharanya?
I don't know the technical Sanskrit meaning. Yeah. Nimisha is 1 millionth of a second. So you can give different purports and make it intellectually stimulating and exciting, but I don't want to speculate. But it's a good question. I'll find out and I'll get back to you on this. I never thought about it. There has to be a meaning. Just like Krishna, the word has a meaning. Naimisharanya also, I'm sure, has a meaning. Aranya is forest. Aranya is a forest. Naimisha, maybe is derived from Nimisha, I don't know.
Sharan could be shelter.
Yeah, that's what I said. We can speculate and it's fun. There is a school in Kerala where every verse of the Gita they give 100 purports and it's very fun. It's lot of, but then we may miss the rasa, we may miss the relationship with Krishna. Anything else anybody wants to say on this main theme was thoughts? Choose your thoughts, and that's I want you to go back to London with these two things. Choose your thoughts and be mindful. Yes, Jagannath Sharanti.
What should we do when we go to Naimisharanya?
Okay, you can be present first of all. Don't do prajalpa, wasteful talk. Don't waste your time. Our tongue is always just stop talking on nonsense unless it is important. मुंह में जबान सब रखते हैं, मुंह में जबान सब रखते हैं, पर कमाल वो करते हैं जो उसे संभाल के रखते हैं.
Very nice.
Everybody has a tongue, but unnecessary talking is just it takes away a lot of our energy. Too. That's one thing we could do when we are in Naimisharanya. Talking about politics, gossip. I mean, Bollywood will go on, IPL will go on, Trump will do his Trumpgiri. Let's talk about it on another day, somewhere else. And don't hear gossip, don't talk gossip. Because words are extremely powerful. Yesterday we spoke about mantra in such great detail. Mantra and the way Kaikeyi's mind was turned. Because of the words. एक बार चाकू, तीर, तलवार और खंजर बहस कर रहे थे कि सबसे ज्यादा घाव कौन लगाता है. चाकू, तीर, तलवार और खंजर बहस कर रहे थे कि सबसे ज्यादा घाव कौन लगाता है. पीछे बैठे शब्द मुस्कुरा रहे थे. The words were smiling when knife, dagger, arrow and sword were arguing who has the greatest impact. But the words are extremely powerful. So speak kind words, appreciate others. It's easy to see faults, It's easy to see wrong things happening. Catch them doing right. Who was that famous management? Peter Drucker said that. Catch them doing right. We generally catch people doing wrong. so that seeing good in others. This all helps us in choosing positive thoughts, Krishna thoughts. I'll give a simple example about choosing thoughts. Like for example, Mayank Prabhu and his team is organizing a great yatra. So we could choose a thought of gratitude. Thank you, Mayank, for thank you, telling him also and choosing also. This is so good, accommodation is nice. We could go to these places. Thank you. These are thoughts which we can choose, and that will result in a feeling of shelter, feeling of gratitude. Gratitude is not simply an emotion or a feeling; it's a choice. So when we choose a thought, it leads to grateful feelings. And I've observed sometimes two people are in the same situation. One of them is miserable, the other is blissful. It's because of the thoughts we choose.
Yeah.
Have you seen this? I was in charge of the Brahmachari Yatra. We were taking all of them to Mayapur by train. And India, 20 years ago, mobile phones we had a simple mobile phone, Nokia. So I was in the first bus that came to the railway station, and the other group of brahmacharis were in the other bus. They got stuck in traffic. And I had all the musical instruments, but they had the tickets. And during those days, we needed a hard copy, ticket, printout, and all of that. And we were so miserable. And they had to come, and the train was about to start, and I was panicking. And my assistant, who is like, 10 years junior to me, he's very cool. He says, "Prabhu, relax, don't worry. We can sort this out." I said, "How?" I was in anxiety because they had to come fast. Then they're calling me, I'm telling them the train is starting now, and they're half an hour away. And the train started, and he said, "Prabhu, relax." You know what he did? He went to the bathroom of the train and he pulled the chain. Indian trains have a chain system. It's illegal, but he pulled the chain. And he came back and said, "Don't worry, it's sorted. The train will stop for 10 minutes now." I said, "What did you do?" He said, "I pulled the chain." I said, "It's illegal, but Prabhu, we need to do this now. We have no choice." And he was in charge. And I had two anxieties. One was the train is starting and they are not coming. Second was we are also doing an illegal thing.
Yes.
And then he's like, "Cool." And my anxiety doubled. And then the train started again after 10 minutes. And I'm calling them, "Where are you?" "Oh, we are still 10 minutes away." Oh, okay, what will happen? And he said, "Prabhu, relax." He went to the next coach.
Pull again.
They pulled the chain again. I think 5 or 6 times they did that in the different coaches. And my anxiety was doubling. And finally these guys came and they entered the train. And just when they entered the train started. And this time he didn't pull the chain, mercifully. And then when we sat, I said, "Oh, I'm so relieved everything is sorted." But I was in so much anxiety. And how come you're such a big sage? You were in the entire ordeal. I was in anxiety and he was peaceful. How come you were peaceful and I was so much misery? He said, you are miserable because you are the in charge. And I was blissful because from childhood, I had been cultivating a thought and a desire that I want to pull this chain. but I never got a chance. Because I was always, because as a child, I would like to, I would put my hand and my mom would hit me. But today I got full license to do it as a service to devotees. So you see what has happened here? Same situation. I was miserable. He was blissful because he chose a different kind of thought. So in this yatra, some inconvenience will always be there, and that's the definition of yatra. Without inconvenience, it's not a yatra. Then you stay comfortably at home. You come to India, you come to a holy place, there will be some inconvenience, but you choose a thought. Krishna, I'm grateful to you. Krishna, I don't know how is this good for me, but please help me see this. That's a thought. And Krishna will help you see this. Krishna loves us more than we love him. He wants us back. In the most difficult situation, when I've said, Krishna, this doesn't make sense, but I love you. I didn't get answers, but I got love. Hare Krishna. Should we stop here, Mayank? Yes. Thank you so much once again. My best wishes to all of you on your journey now to Naimisharanya. Honestly, I can't be greedy. Today morning I was feeling, oh, I'm not going to Naimisharanya. I wish I could go. But I want to be grateful that at least I could come here to Ayodhya. I got Ramlala Darshan. I could imagine I would get this. So I'm extremely grateful, and I should be greedy also. Greed is good. Spiritual greed is good. Maybe next year I'll get another chance to be with all of you again. Thank you very much. ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, आप सबकी जय। हरे कृष्ण।
It's very much behind
Hari Prabhu ki
Prabhu.
jai.